Hey guys, Ryan Earnhardt here from CreativeSoundLab.tv. Well, I was doing kind of a test mix for a product video that I'll be putting out later this week. Really cool product. Can't say anything about it, but it really solves a need for what I've had in my studio for a long time, and it sounds incredible. And I was doing a test mix with this product, and I don't know, I kind of actually made a mistake with my routing because I was just trying to kind of use some outboard, and I realized that I just completely bypassed the stereo bus compressor. I was like, what the heck did I just do? I mean, my whole mix with these sounds in mind, and then when I fixed the routing to the technically correct way, just wasn't the same mix. And I think this is actually a legit technique that we should possibly explore for certain situations that you really want something just kind of thumping and really carrying the beat. You know, you want that low end to be as big as possible for kind of a dance tune kind of thing. So, this video I'm going to be talking about bypassing the stereo bus with kind of like a crush bus compressor. I don't know what to call it, but this one's going to be cool. Stick around. Okay, so, like I said, I don't know what to exactly call this, crush bus, whatever. I actually had dialed up the 5020 stereo FET limiter by M-House Studios. That's this guy right here. And I mean, this thing sounds incredible. I love the sound of this thing. There's some sort of gooiness in that low end that really sounds good, but it was way too much for kind of the whole drum bus. I'd already compressed the overheads. You know, even the overheads, they were kinda roomy as well. Like, they were ribbons and they were a little bit too far up. I mean, looking back, I would have said, maybe I'll do lower ribbons or, maybe a different mic choice." But, you know, these mics, they were set up a little bit high, and then I compressed on the way in. So, I didn't wanna compress any more cymbals. So, I actually just kinda split it off. I went straight to the individual tracks. So, we have, kick in and, kick out, and then snare. This goes to kind of a bus level, fader here. I created a bus. I guess snare only has snare top, but I'm so used to having a bus for it. And then I just stack my buses on the very left-hand side, and I can kind of drive the whole mix. But I went ahead and sent this to what's called a crush bus right here. And on this bus, it has the 5020 stereo FET limiter. So super easy. And Studio One, you just ping it. There you go. It's adjusted for latency. If I go over to the actual hardware, there you go. So really easy to do. And then what you get is a wet dry, which is incredible for any of your outboard effects. This happens to have a wet dry built in. And for my usual application of the 5020, I do kind of like a 40% right at the device. It's just so good, like I just kind of leave it there. Um if I want to sneak it in, I'll maybe do it like 20%, it just makes it sound fatter and bigger and angrier. But yeah, this is a really special compressor. So for this mix, I didn't want to go that far, I too many cymbals and things. So I wanted to make this the kick and snare and actually tom fatter. So what I did is just sent those items to this crush bus. And I think this tom, what is it? Oh yeah, two toms. And the worst or worst position. I'm not sure that that really is getting a whole lot of use because it is kind of, mid-rangey, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's kind of the setup. Now, I was mixing with this, and I realized that this bus actually was set to main, which was just a total noob mistake, right? Because everything else I have set to kind of what's called a pre-master bus. And so it's just kind of an extra layer in there so that if I want to throw like a mix, I can send that mix just to the monitors. I don't send it through, a second time through my bus compressor, right? So the bus compressor is actually kind of a hierarchy, a level down than my main out. So I have um, basically everything in the music is going to this. But for this time, I forgot, and it was going actually to my main out. So without realizing it, I was actually bypassing everything with this 5020, and it was giving me this super fat sound. It's a compressed sound as well, so I mean we're okay. Like it's not like I'm sending raw drums. I mean, heck, who says you can't send raw drums to uh, stereo bus? But yeah, it's compressed. It wasn't getting subdued by the stereo bus compressor, and it just did not hit the same if I went through my bus compressor. So enough talking. Let me show you how it sounds. This is just, I mean, we've heard this song before, but this is just a test mix. Jordan Okrend, uh, Higher Mind. Here we go. Each reaction's a hallway. So many rooms to choose. That's actually kind of interesting. I seems like it's a little off-sided. Let me fix that. Okay, here it is in the context of the mix. 'Cause in every moment you got a decision to stay deaf or to listen to a higher mind, a higher mind. Okay, so let's send it to the bus compressor. And so now it'll be going to here and here. Check this out. Each reaction's a hallway. So many rooms to choose. Okay, that kick definitely takes a hit. Now let's go to bypass the stereo bus compressor. Can take a step backwards, but that's not what I'll do. No walking by me when I see it's a fake. I'll close the door on the limits I face. So yeah, it's going to be compressing just a little bit less because I'm not sending that kick and snare and tom signal there. But I guess the point of this video is not that you can do this, but when you have something that's called stereo bus, does it really have to be the top level? I mean, you could always add additional levels to it. Like, for example, I had this as kind of my top level, right? And so what I did is I realized that, oops, I skipped, this level where my stereo bus compressor is at. So I added another one, and they both go to the main here. So let's see here. This goes to here. This goes to here. Right. So if I wanted to, I could have this going. I could have like my stereo bus in the traditional sense. I could have a stereo bus, then I could have an alt stereo bus, right? And that could be something different, right? Um, One of my friends, Garrett Derhoff over at Studio 412, he was saying something about like a back bus compression, just basically different parallel layers to stereo bus compression. The Brute Force by Arturia that has like three different layers. You have a dry, you have compressed, you have saturated, and then it actually mixes. There's like a mixer that mixes those signals together. So in a sense, I'm kind of creating a layer that's at a very high level that, you know, it was kind of made by mistake, right? But I think it sounds fantastic. Like without it, it just kicks a little less, and I really like the sound of it. Now, what's going on here? Okay, so you see, even I had a limiter. I was like ready to go to film a video, and yet I skipped right over it, and I just went right over um to this additional layer here. So let's see, crush. Yep, sure enough. So then it comes over here. Yeah, but it works. I think it works really well. You know, so if it works, it works. So you know maybe after you do this, you could say, well, okay, so I'm gonna do this will be my for real stereo bus. And with this, maybe you could do like an ozone maximizer or limiter or something. Just to kind of do like your mastering job, whatever. But yeah, it's just different layers, and uh, eh, there's some really cool ideas if you just kind of go with it. Hey, break the rules a little bit. I really thought my mix was kind of screwed, and then I'm like, well, wait a second, I'll just create extra buses to kind of stereo bus, then stereo bus alt, and then have those sum and make the mix. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think of this. But I will be hanging out in the comments below. Have you ever done something like this? I don't know. It's pretty cool. It definitely helped me, get kind of a fuller kick sound. And without it, it wasn't the same. I didn't like how it pumped. So yeah, this 5020, man, it sounds really good for what it does. It sounds great. And something like this, it definitely makes it hit hard, and definitely, I just never have gotten this song to quite punch like this. Anyways, talk to you soon.